Hi guys, Mark here with a new scooter that I added to my collection. I bought myself a 08. I actually looked at a bunch of different scooters. I looked at the different models from Zero, as well as the 9-bot and the boosted scooter, and landed on the 08. I've had it now for about two months and 200 kilometers, and here's my review. I was actually in Singapore at Falcon PV to try out some of their scooters before I buy, but unfortunately that was not possible. Currently Falcon is not allowed to sell their own Zero scooters in Singapore because there's a new regulation around fire safety that all scooters sold and ridden in Singapore have to adhere to. Singapore has enacted this new fire certifications because scooters actually caught fire either during riding or while charging in Singapore, and now all scooters are required to have this certification. Just recently, the newspaper reported that a scooter caught on fire while charging in an apartment block, and it was only because the firefighters came so quickly that they were able to prevent any disaster. All scooters ridden in Singapore have to have that UL2272 certification, and Falcon's scooters are not ready yet. They do sell Inakim and 9-bot, which are certified already, but they said the Zero range will take probably until the beginning of next year before they're certified. They do continue to sell them for overseas, and that's how I got mine. I am a little concerned that the scooter is not certified yet, but I checked the charger and it does not really seem to be getting hot, so I feel reasonably safe. So let's get into the review. I want a scooter that I can use for commuting, both mixed mode, where I take it on the train, as well as riding all the way the 16 kilometers to work. For that, it has to have the sufficient range. Number 2, it has to fold away nicely so I can take it on the train. Number 3, it can't be too heavy. And number 4, it has to have a decent speed of at least 30 kilometers an hour to be able to do the full commute. The 08 ticks all the boxes and currently is on special. Costs 849 Singapore dollars plus shipping, which comes out to 1,010 Singapore dollars to ship to Australia. That's about 1,080 Australian dollars, 732 US dollars, or 665 euros. I ordered mine on the 13th of August and it was there in 7 days, so that was very quick. I was very surprised coming from Singapore. I ordered the 13 amp hour version, but there are others available and it really depends on where you buy. The Falcon in Singapore has a 10 amp hour version 48 volt and the 13 amp hour version 48 volt. Then we have RevRides in the US, which only carries the 13 amp hour 48 volt version. And then there's B.ELECTRIC in France, which carries a 36 volt 10 amp hour version, as well as a 48 volt 10 amp hour version, and a 48 volt 16 amp hour version, which is the largest version, but that's only available through B.ELECTRIC. Alright, so let me tell you about the pros and cons of this scooter. So let's start with the pros. The range that I get on the scooter is 25 kilometers. I'm 93 kilos and that's adequate for me. I can ride all the way from here to work, which is 16 kilometers. And on the way back, I can use mixed mode with train and still not run out of charge. So that's really an important factor for me. That gives me much less range anxiety than the M365 did before. The 08 folds away really nice for storage. There are 3 reasons for that. Number 1 is that the handlebars fold, and that makes the whole scooter a nice rectangular package. Number 2 is the telescopic stem, which can be shortened to make that nice package. And number 3 is that one of the wheels comes off the ground when folded, and that means the scooter doesn't slide around a lot when you're riding on the train. All that together makes this very nice little package you can just put under the seat in the train. I also like the rear drum brake. It has really good grip, and if you press the lever hard enough, it will definitely lock up the back tire. Another thing that I like is the placement of the motor. It's at the rear hub, and that's a much more natural place than putting it in the front. It also allows you to do things like wheelies if you can. The top speed is 37 kilometers an hour, which is pretty nice. I must say I don't go that kind of speed very often because it is also pretty dangerous. We had that accident with my wife, and that was at 25 kilometers an hour with the M365, and I was very happy that it didn't go any faster. So going that fast, I mean going 25 kilometers an hour, I definitely recommend using a helmet. Going any faster than that, I think there should be additional safety gear like gloves that you should use. All in all, the construction looks pretty sturdy. It's a little bit bigger than, for example, the M365, and seems like it's solidly built. I also appreciate that the scooter can climb hills pretty well. Even the steepest incline, it can still go up. Maybe a little bit slower, maybe 20 or 15 kilometers an hour, but it does get up an incline, so that's great. Lastly, the scooter ride is sufficiently smooth. It has a pneumatic tire in the front and the suspension in the rear, and that together works well even at the full top speed of 37 kilometers. Okay, now to the cons. The acceleration could be better. I feel, without measuring it, it's probably the same as the acceleration of the M365, which is okay, but not great. So given that it's actually a larger scooter, I was hoping for more acceleration. I also don't like that the handlebar rings that are used in order to fold the handlebar down kind of rattle themselves loose. So you have to tighten them about every day, and that's a bit annoying. Another thing is the weight. It weighs about 20 kilos, and you wouldn't want to carry that around for a long time. So yes, I can take it out of the car or I can take it out of the train, but if I have to carry it up the stairs at the train station, I'm already getting a little tired. Another thing is the lights. They're not strong enough to shine away at night. So you definitely need another bike light or something for the front. The rear lights are fine. Another thing that I don't like is the rear tire. It's solid and it doesn't have very much grip. So you press on the rear drum brake and it will lock the tire and it will just start skidding. That's fun if you intend to do it, but it also means it's not very safe. The scooter doesn't stop very easily because you only have that one brake. The tire also doesn't absorb any bumps, so that's why they had to put in the suspension. Together with the suspension it's okay, but just barely. The 25 kilometer range is okay for me, but it's well under the advertised 40 to 45 kilometer range on the Falcon websites, and even under the advertised 30 to 35 kilometer range on the RevRide's website. It seems to be in line with what other people say, but I was hoping that I could actually do the commute to work and back all with one charge. That would have been 32 kilometers, but I guess that's too much to ask. There is the 16 amp hour version that's sold by Weebot in France that supposedly does about 35 kilometer range, but it's a lot more expensive, and I didn't know when I bought the scooter that it was actually available. So much for my pros and cons. The highlights are that I love the foldability of the scooter, the range is adequate for me, and the speed is adequate for me. The things that I would wish more of is acceleration and more range. Thanks for listening.